Welcome back, my dear student. I don't want you to open any editor, any file. I just want you to pay very close attention to this lecture. Don't do anything. Close your door, your windows, turn off your phones. I want you to pay very close attention because this lecture depends on how much you can actually get from this course. And basically, I want you to be familiar with the Laravel application structure. Okay? So are you ready? If not, pause the video and get ready. All right, perfect. So now you're ready. So what I did was I opened CMS, which is a Laravel application that we created in my PHP Storm, and this is the default theme here. Don't worry about it, we're gonna change this later. But anyway, I don't want you to open anything, like I said. So now we have this folder, our folder with a Laravel application. This is what you're gonna have inside the CMS folder, right? You're gonna have all these complicated files here. They might seem very complicated because you're new to it, all right? Everything new for us seems to be complicated most of the time, right? So we're gonna have an app folder, bootstrap, config folder, and with time, they are going to change this, all right? There's a possibility that we're gonna have other files and they're gonna reorder things here and there, but the general thing would be the same. App folder, bootstrap, for now, maybe later on something else, config folder, database, public resources, storage, tests, and vendor. And then we have a whole bunch of other files in the root directory here. All right, and you might be wondering, what in the world? Look at all these extensions. Are they out of their mind? Well, no, it's a pretty cool application. I'm gonna show you. So inside this app folder is where we're gonna be doing most of the coding. All right, you're gonna see some other folders that you don't need to be concerned about in this beginner's course. So most of the time we're gonna be in HTTP, which is where we're gonna find our controllers, our security, which is the middleware, and our request, which is also authentication. There we go, I said it correctly, I think. All right, so this is called requests. All right, and our routes, which is how we manage everything in our address bar for our application. Contact, let's say your domain.com/contact, you will deal with routes for that. An example, right? Jobs, listeners, there's a whole bunch of other things, but this is what you got to concern about, this folder right here, HTTP. All right, so that's the major folder, and every time you create a model, which is a class that deals with database, it's gonna be available, and as far as I know for now in Laravel 5, it's available inside this app folder right here. This would be the user model that deals with the database. All right, everything we write here goes directly and access fields in the database. But anyway, so if I close this, then you have Bootstrap. All right, this is because we can basically include Bootstrap automatically in our project, so that way we don't have to be downloading resources or anything like that from the internet. It's included automatically if we want to. Then we have our config that deals with, this is one of the main files. App, we're gonna be including things here when we want to use a plugin. They are called providers, and we're gonna deal with that later. So don't worry about it if you don't understand it much. Basically what we do is we put the path where those classes are here. All right, and sometimes some of them use aliases, which is how you use those classes in your HTML or application. All right, so in order for us to use this view, we will have to type in view. All right, so the auth file, all right, there are a couple other ones. The database, this is where you set up your connections. Well, we don't actually do it here, but we could if we wanted to. But what we do is we go to this file .env and we write those in this constants right here. They are more secure, and this constant is actually ignored by Git. But anyway, that's for those of you that know about Git. We also set up our mail here, so if you want to set up a SMTP, we could do that here. All right, I'm just giving you a general overview. Then we got database. Here we have something called migrations. We'll get into that later. This is basically automates how we create tables. All right, so basically from Laravel we can create tables. in our database. I know it sounds crazy because some of us are used to going to PHP creating those databases there, right? Those tables. But we can actually do this from Laravel. So migrations allow us to do that. Factories allow us to actually automate a lot of content data entry. So we can create factories to create 50 users or 50 posts or something like that. All right. Seeds, we can do that as well. And we'll get into that as we go along in this course or in an advanced section later on or something like that. All right. Public directory, this is where we're gonna have our CSS files and other resources for our application. All right, and JavaScript files. Resources, the name says it all. This is where we're gonna have some assets for SAS, and I'll get to that later. All right, but this is how we are going to be compiling CSS. We're gonna use SAS, and when that compiles, it goes to the public directory. But anyway, that's another. I don't want to go too beyond that because I don't want to confuse you. Okay. So resources, we got views here. This is where our HTML representation is. So this is our welcome, our Laravel application. If you go to this file here in root, all right, you will find that view there. So this is where all those views will be located. You can put folders and put those views in there if you want to as well. All right, vendor. All right, this is for our Git. That's a little advanced. What else? Storage. All right, let me see. Vendor. This is basically, this folder right here is when we actually include a plugin, or I could say a package in our project for us to use. They will be installed in the vendor directory. All right, and then from there we will actually include them in our auto load functionality, and we can use those features in our project. All right, this is all basically all the dependencies for Laravel. All right, everything that it uses. Okay, so you can see Symfony here, and you can look it up. PHP unit for testing, and there's a whole bunch of other things here. All right, we can see the Laravel package. So Laravel not only uses Laravel, but it uses many other pieces of code, right? Libraries and plugins to work. This is a .env file. We're gonna have some constants in here. All right, and we can set our mail here. So we'll put our username and password. We can access our Google email or whatever other email provider has an API. We can also put our database information here. And the reason why they have it is this .env is just in case you're using Git to save your files. All right, so that way all this gets ignored, and when you are sharing your project, people don't find out about your information. That's one of the reasons why you put it there. All right. We also have the PHP artisan gub file. This is for no package manager. This is just to, I'll show you later on. This is a command to compile different things in our CSS file and our JavaScript files. All right, I'll show you how to use that later on. All right, it's gonna be pretty cool. But anyway, that's about it. That's about it for giving you a brief introduction into the structure. This is about it. All right, later on as we go along, we're gonna learn some more things, and maybe we'll learn some more stuff in an advanced section or something like that. All right, but anyway, thank you so much for being here, and if you have any questions, please make sure that you put it in the discussion. I'll try to answer it if it's related to the course, and if it's too advanced, I'll tell you to watch another episode. All right, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next lectures.